Everyone is talking about how incredibly smart AI is getting. But there's this one thing, something nobody is telling you. Your favorite AI chatbot can't actually learn from talking to you. I know, it sounds nuts, but a brand new breakthrough from Google just changed the entire game. And when you connect it with two other massive announcements, well, it completely shifts how we should think about where AI is headed in 2026. So let me just ask the big question right up front, the one that gets to the heart of it all. When you're chatting with an AI and you give it feedback, does it actually get smarter? Does it, update its understanding of what you really want? And the answer, which might surprise you, is no. It really doesn't. Not in the way a person would, anyway. When you tell it what you liked or didn't like, it's not truly updating its own internal beliefs during that conversation. It's just taking that new text as extra context for its very next guess. It's a really subtle difference, but it's a massive, massive limitation. Okay, so let's really dive into this, because this is the fundamental problem that a team of Google researchers decided to tackle head-on. They noticed that, say, if you ask an AI to recommend flights, it might just keep pushing the cheapest option no matter how many times you say, "No, I prefer fewer stops." It just wasn't learning.
So, they asked this brilliant question. What if we could teach an AI to think more like a statistician? Specifically, what if we could teach it something called Bayesian reasoning? Now, this is basically the gold standard for how to logically update your beliefs whenever you get new evidence. It's really how rational minds learn and adapt.
To put this to the test, they set up that same flight recommendation task. And the results you see here are just fascinating. A mathematically perfect Bayesian assistant, it hits about 81% accuracy. But then you look at the current large language models, we're talking GPT-4, the big guys, they barely improved at all and were actually beaten by humans. This proved what the researchers suspected all along, that current AIs have, and I'm quoting here, significant limitations when it comes to updating their beliefs. So how'd they fix it? This is the really clever part. They tried two different teaching methods. The first was oracle teaching, where the AI is trained on only perfect, flawless answers. Sounds pretty good, right? But the second method, Bayesian teaching, was the real breakthrough. With this one, the AI was trained on conversations where the assistant has to reason through the problem. It has to show its work, even if it gets the final answer wrong, as long as its reasoning is logically sound. It's learning from the process, you see, not just the outcome. And the result? It was absolutely staggering. The models that were trained using this Bayesian teaching method just blew the others out of the water. A 9 billion parameter model saw its accuracy jump from around 50% all the way up to 76%. I mean, that is a massive, massive leap in performance.
But here's the most important part of all. This wasn't just about booking flights. The reasoning skill the AI learned transferred to completely new tasks it had never, ever seen before. Things like booking hotels or online shopping. So the key takeaway is that the AI didn't just memorize a bunch of answers. It learned a genuine, transferable reasoning skill. And that is a huge first step toward an AI that actually, truly understands you.
All right, let's move on to our second big development, which kind of shifts from the AI's brain to its body, so to speak. Google just launched something called LiteRT, and it's a framework that makes it possible to run incredibly powerful AI models directly on your phone. Now, why should you care about this? Well, there are two huge reasons. First up is privacy. Your data never has to leave your device and go off to some cloud server somewhere. It stays with you. Second is speed. Without that lag of sending data back and forth, the AI can respond in milliseconds. And trust me, this isn't some small improvement, it's an absolute game changer for how we interact with AI. And get this, the performance numbers are just wild. By using the specialized chip that's already in most modern phones, the Neural Processing Unit, or NPU, LiteRT can be up to 10 to 100 times faster than running on the phone's main processor. We're talking orders of magnitude faster here. It's a whole different level. Now, this slide shows another key feature perfectly, something called quantization. It's basically a fancy word for shrinking the AI model so it takes up way less space. I mean, look at this example. A 14 megabyte model was compressed all the way down to just 3.5 megabytes. That's 75% smaller, and it lost less than 1% in accuracy. So you get this dramatically faster, lighter AI with almost no trade-off. It's incredible. So what does all this tech actually let us do? Well, think about real-time text recognition just by pointing your camera, or augmented reality assistants that work even when you don't have an internet connection, or voice agents that respond instantly with no delay. This is the infrastructure that makes all of that a reality, right there in your pocket.
And that brings us to our third and final piece of the puzzle. This is the one that's getting the most buzz right now: autonomous AI agents. These systems represent a fundamental shift from an AI that you talk to an AI that acts for you.
The difference is actually really simple, but it's profound. A chatbot answers your questions. An agent, on the other hand, handles your to-do list. It doesn't just give you information, it takes that information and executes real-world actions, like browsing the web, sending emails, or booking that flight we were talking about earlier.
So under the hood, it's this really sophisticated loop. You give it a high-level goal, like, hey, analyze my top competitors and then create a slide deck about them. The agent then deconstructs that goal, creates a step-by-step plan, and then it just starts executing, browsing websites, pulling data, and putting it all together into a final output for you.
And look, this isn't some far-off science fiction. It's already here. OpenAI's ChatGPT agent and Google's Gemini agent are leading the charge, plugging directly into ecosystems like Gmail, Calendar, and GitHub. And on top of that, there's a really vibrant open-source community building tools that let pretty much anyone connect a language model to a set of actions.
But, and this is a really big but, this kind of power comes with some pretty significant risks. I mean, these agents can access your personal data and execute real actions. This quote here really tells you how seriously the developers are taking this. An agent with this much freedom requires constant supervision. That whole human-in-the-loop idea? It isn't optional. Right now, it is absolutely essential.
Okay, so let's connect all the dots and see how this whole thing comes together. We've looked at three distinct, really powerful developments. And yeah, each one is impressive on its own, but when you put them together, they paint a very clear picture of the future. A future that's moving away from just generating text and toward actively solving problems. And this slide illustrates that new paradigm perfectly. First, you have the reasoning brain, an AI that can actually learn from you using that Bayesian logic. Then you have the on-device body. That's the LiteRT framework that puts that powerful brain right in your pocket, making it super fast and private. And finally, you have the autonomous hands, the agents that allow this smart, local AI to actually do things for you in the real world. You see, these three pieces, they just fit together perfectly. They're creating a whole new category of personal AI that's smarter, faster, and way more capable than anything we've ever had before. So the question isn't if this is happening. Oh, it's happening.